We know that dragons are fundamental to the creation of the world and the atmosphere in the Dark Souls trilogy, as well as being described as ancient beings who ruled before any existence, both in Dark Souls and Elden Ring. Facing dragons is a common experience in these games and their DLCs now. With the release of Shadow of the Erdtree, we have another dragon to add to the list. Today, I'm going to present the top 10 most difficult dragons of the Souls era, created by FromSoftware, in my opinion. We won't analyze their power and lore. That will be for another video. I'll evaluate the difficulty I felt when facing them in battle. If you're new here, welcome to the SoulsBorne channel. If you like this video, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving your like. Our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm sure you'll help me achieve it. Without further ado, let's start the video. In 10th place, we have one of the most sinister and well-designed dragons in the Souls games, the Gaping Dragon. This dragon, looking like a giant lizard with a belly full of sharp teeth, is impressive at first sight. The first time I saw it, I was quite apprehensive, already imagining how difficult the battle would be. Its moves include jumps, bites, and side attacks, and the best strategy is to stay behind it. However, you need to be careful with its tail sweeps, which cause significant damage. Additionally, the tight area where we face it and the camera can make the battle difficult. Escaping its grab, which can swallow and chew the character, is a challenge in itself. Despite its slow and predictable moves, the difficulty lies in the patience and correct strategy to defeat it. In 9th place is Seath the Scaleless from Dark Souls 1, or as I like to call him, Seath the Traitor, for betraying his brothers in exchange for power. The battle against him is relatively calm when you find the right spots where his attacks don't hit you. He uses area attacks and crystals, but he is slow and predictable with little resistance due to his lack of scales. Seath has a set of freezing and crystal attacks that come from the ground, causing great damage if not avoided. The key to winning this fight is to stay close to him and attack his vulnerable areas while managing stamina. Despite his betrayal and imposing appearance, the battle against Seath ends up being more about strategy than quick reflexes. In 8th place, we have Sinch the Slumbering Dragon from Dark Souls 2. Unlike the previous ones, Sinch can fly, spit fire, and poison. His mobility and poisonous attacks make him a complicated opponent. He moves away when you try to attack him and uses poison attacks that quickly drain your HP. The combat against Sinch is dynamic and requires the player to always be on the move, avoiding his poison and fire attacks. He often flies out of reach, only to return with swooping attacks that can be devastating. Sin's difficulty lies in his ability to combine ranged poison and fire attacks, requiring the player to constantly adapt during the battle. 7th place goes to the Ancient Dragon from Dark Souls 2. Despite appearing slow, managing stamina against him is challenging. His fire attacks can be a one-hit kill if you don't move away in time. The battle requires patience and a good strategy to avoid his powerful fire attacks. This giant dragon may seem easy at first glance, but the reality is quite different. His fire attack underneath him can catch players off guard who try to stay close to his legs. With each breath of fire, you need to quickly move away and wait for the right moment to attack again. The Ancient Dragon tests the player's patience and resource management skills, making the battle a true endurance test. In 6th place, we have Kalameet, the Black Dragon from Dark Souls 1. He is versatile and tough, using ranged and area attacks. Along with high HP, his black flame attacks and the power he uses to silence the battle make the fight against him complex and challenging. Kalameet is a complete dragon, capable of flying and spitting black flames that cause great damage. He also has a special ability that reduces the player's defense, making each received hit even more dangerous. The battle against Kalameet requires the player to be constantly alert, dodging his attacks and finding openings to strike. His resilience and variety of attacks make this fight one of the most memorable and challenging in the series. In 5th place, there's Fortisax from Elden Ring, an optional boss we face in Fia's quest. The battle against him is epic, with impressive visuals and arena effects. Fortisax uses fire, lightning, and the power of destined death, which can instantly kill. His lightning attacks are especially tricky to avoid. Fortisax combines elemental fire and lightning attacks with fast and precise movements. Each lightning attack has specific timing, and the challenge is to anticipate and dodge at the exact moment. Additionally, the power of destined death adds an extra layer of challenge, requiring the player to stay in constant motion and alert to all attacks. The fight against Fortisax is a true spectacle of skills and reflexes. In 4th place, we have Landseeks, also from Elden Ring. The fight against him is intense, and the best strategy is to use Torrent in the open arena. Land seeks as fire, lightning, and area attacks that make the battle very difficult. His resilience and speed make the fight challenging. This imposing dragon uses area lightning attacks that can catch the player off guard. Using Torrent is essential to stay mobile and avoid Landseek's devastating attacks. Each move needs to be carefully calculated, and the fight requires constant adaptation and quick reaction. Facing the Landseeks in an open arena allows more mobility, but also increases the complexity of the battle. Third place goes to Placidusax, the first Elden Lord from Elden Ring. With lightning, fire attacks, and the ability to open dimensions in the arena, he is a formidable opponent. The fight against him is epic, with an immersive atmosphere and constant challenges. Placidusax can disappear and reappear in different points of the arena, making it difficult to predict his moves. His lightning and fire attacks are extremely powerful and cover a large area. The key to winning this fight is to stay calm and observe his attack patterns, finding openings to strike while dodging his powerful blows. Placidusax is a true test of skill and strategy. In second place, we have Mitter, the Dark Eater from Dark Souls 3. He is fast and versatile, with attack sequences that leave few openings to counterattack. His fire and dark attacks are devastating, requiring precision and patience to defeat him. Mitter is one of the most formidable bosses in the Souls series, combining powerful physical attacks with fire and dark attacks that cover a vast area. He can fly and release a dark laser beam that is extremely difficult to avoid. The fight against Mitter is intense and requires the player to be constantly in motion, anticipating his attacks and finding opportune moments to strike. It's a battle of endurance and skill, where every mistake can be fatal. And the gold medal goes to the new dragon Bale the Dread from the Elden Ring DLC. He is one of the toughest bosses I've ever faced, with devastating and complex attacks. Facing Bale without his wings and leg is already an immense challenge. Imagine with all his limbs. He is epic, strong, and the fight against him is simply cinematic. Bale combines fire and lightning attacks with fast and precise movements. He can fly and release flames over a large area, as well as use grab attacks that can kill instantly. The second half of the fight becomes even more intense when he channels lightning into his wings and flies across the battlefield, releasing fireballs and performing devastating swooping attacks. The fight against Bale requires the player's maximum skill and reflexes, being one of the most epic and challenging battles in the Souls series. What did you think of my top 10 dragons of the Souls era? Leave your opinion in the comments, and if you disagree, share your list. Remember, the difficulty can vary from player to player, especially in SoulsBorne games. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. I would like to give a big shout out to everyone who stayed until the end and say see you next time. We're in this together.